What if the most powerful way to win was not exposing them, not confronting them, not even being understood by them, but simply reaching a point where they can no longer emotionally access you at all? Because the truth is unsettling. Narcissistic dynamics don't collapse from punishment, they collapse from irrelevance. And when you become emotionally unreachable, something shifts that they cannot control. If this is starting to make sense, take a moment and reflect. Where in your life are you still trying to be understood by someone committed to misunderstanding you? And if you're ready, subscribe, because what comes next is learning how to step out of that cycle completely. Narcissistic dynamics are fundamentally driven by emotional supply, meaning the entire system depends on your emotional reactions to keep functioning. This supply is not limited to positive attention, like admiration or validation. It also includes negative reactions such as anger, frustration, confusion, or even long explanations trying to make yourself understood. From the outside, it may feel like conflict or miscommunication, but from a psychological standpoint, any strong emotional activation becomes fuel that keeps the dynamic alive and reinforces your involvement in it. Even painful interactions can unintentionally strengthen the cycle because they confirm ongoing emotional engagement. When you react strongly, defend yourself repeatedly, or try to correct distortions, you are still participating in the emotional loop. This is why these interactions often feel draining and repetitive. There is rarely a sense of resolution because the underlying goal is not understanding, but continued emotional stimulation. Over time, this creates a pattern where your nervous system becomes conditioned to stay alert, reactive, and entangled in their behavior. The turning point begins when you start withdrawing that automatic emotional responsiveness. This does not require confrontation or dramatic separation. It begins internally in the moment you notice a trigger and choose not to immediately respond to it. Instead of reacting impulsively, you create space between what happens and how you respond. That space interrupts the cycle because it removes the predictable emotional output the system relies on. As this shift continues, your perception of the dynamic changes. The same words or behaviors that once felt overwhelming begin to lose intensity because they are no longer being reinforced by your reaction. What develops is not just silence or distance, but a growing sense of psychological detachment where their attempts to provoke no longer reach you in the same way they used to. The strongest shift in these dynamics happens when you stop being emotionally available in the way the system expects, because emotional availability is what keeps the entire pattern active. Emotional availability here does not just mean kindness or openness. It means being reachable at the level of immediate reaction, interpretation, and emotional investment whenever they initiate contact or provoke a response. When that availability is constant, the dynamic remains stable even if it feels chaotic, because there is always an emotional entry point for the other person to engage with. When you begin to withdraw that availability, something important changes in the structure of the interaction. Instead of automatically responding, explaining, defending, or emotionally processing everything they say or do in real time, you start creating delay and distance between stimulus and response. That interruption matters more than most people realize because it breaks the expectation that access to your emotional state is always immediate and guaranteed. Without that access, the interaction loses its grip, even if the external behavior of the other person does not change right away. This shift is not about becoming cold or detached in a performative sense. It is about no longer offering your emotional system on demand. Over time, this creates a mismatch between what the dynamic used to receive and what it now gets. Instead of rich emotional reactions, there is neutrality, restraint, or simple non-engagement. That lack of emotional feeding gradually weakens the intensity of the cycle because the pattern was never sustained by logic or understanding, but by repeated emotional exchange that is no longer freely available. Attention in these dynamics is not neutral. It functions as a form of psychological currency that keeps the interaction alive, regardless of whether it is positive or negative. Many people assume that only praise, affection, or validation feeds the cycle. But in reality, intense negative attention can be just as reinforcing. When you argue, plead, defend yourself repeatedly, or try to correct distorted narratives, you are still offering focus, emotional energy, and engagement. From the perspective of the pattern, that is still supply, because it confirms that the emotional connection remains active and important enough to pull you into reaction. This is why attempts to set the record straight or force understanding often lead to frustration. The issue is not that your perspective lacks validity, but that the system itself does not prioritize mutual understanding. Instead, it prioritizes emotional activation and continued involvement. Every reaction becomes data that sustains the cycle, even if the content of the reaction is pain or disagreement. Over time, this can create a confusing experience where the more you try to fix or clarify things, the more entangled you feel. The shift begins when you recognize that attention itself is the resource being extracted, not just affection or approval. Once this becomes clear, you start to see that disengagement is not about ignoring truth, but about refusing to feed a process that depends on your emotional investment. Even small changes like not responding immediately or not engaging with every provocation begin to reduce the available supply. As the emotional energy decreases, the dynamic loses its intensity because it was never powered by resolution, only by continued attention. Boundaries in these dynamics are often misunderstood as simple statements or verbal limits, but in practice, they only become meaningful through consistency in action. A boundary that is spoken but not consistently enforced remains an idea rather than a protective structure. In emotionally manipulative or high conflict patterns, inconsistency sends mixed signals that can unintentionally maintain the cycle because the system learns that limits are flexible and can be tested repeatedly until they weaken. When boundaries are inconsistent, the nervous system also becomes part of the instability. You may feel clear in one moment and overruled by emotion in the next, which leads to partial enforcement, delayed responses, or eventual re-entry into the same patterns you were trying to exit. This back and forth does not create protection. It creates predictability for continued testing. The other person learns not from what is said, but from what is repeatedly tolerated over time. This is why inconsistency often has a stronger impact than the boundary itself. Real change begins when boundaries are paired with steady follow-through even in small situations. That might look like ending a conversation when it becomes disrespectful, not responding to baiting messages, or refusing to re-engage after a pattern has already been recognized. The key element is not intensity, but repetition. Consistency removes ambiguity, and without ambiguity, there is less room for manipulation or reinterpretation of your limits. Over time, this creates a new relational structure where access is no longer automatic or emotionally driven. Instead of negotiating your boundaries in the moment of emotional pressure, you define them in advance through behavior. This shift gradually reduces the effectiveness of old patterns because the system can no longer rely on testing to find gaps. Detachment is often misunderstood as emotional coldness or shutting down feelings, but in reality, it is a form of internal clarity where you are no longer emotionally entangled in another person's reactions. Confrontation tends to keep you inside the same emotional field because it requires continued engagement, interpretation, and response. Even when confrontation feels necessary or justified, it still centers your attention on the other person's behavior, which keeps the psychological link active. Detachment, on the other hand, shifts that center back to you and your internal state. When you begin practicing detachment, the goal is not to suppress emotions, but to stop organizing your behavior around them. You may still feel anger, sadness, or confusion, but those emotions no longer automatically translate into action, directed toward the other person. Instead of reacting outwardly, you observe inwardly, allowing emotions to rise and fall without turning them into engagement. This creates a pause between feeling and response that slowly reduces the intensity of the dynamic over time. Confrontation often gives the illusion of resolution, but in many repetitive relational patterns, it actually restarts the cycle because it reopens emotional exchange. Detachment avoids that restart. It removes the need to prove, correct, or emotionally resolve something with someone who may not be operating from a space of mutual understanding. This is not about avoidance in a fearful sense, but about recognition that continued engagement is not producing meaningful change. As detachment strengthens, what changes most is not the other person's behavior, but your internal dependency on their reactions. Their words, tone, or attempts to provoke lose their ability to pull you into immediate emotional movement. That reduction in reactivity is where the real shift happens because it removes the leverage that sustained the dynamic in the first place. Healing in these dynamics is not just about recovering from what happened. It actively interrupts the psychological loop that kept you emotionally tied to the experience. When a person remains stuck in repeated reflection, replaying conversations, analyzing motives, or searching for hidden meanings, the mind continues to stay engaged with the same system that caused the distress. Even when the intent is to understand or make sense of the experience, the effect can sometimes keep the emotional connection active because attention is still directed toward the source of injury. True healing begins when awareness shifts from the other person's behavior to your internal experience and patterns of response. This means noticing how your nervous system reacts, how quickly you become activated, and how often your thoughts return to the situation. Instead of trying to solve the external narrative, you start recognizing the internal cycle that keeps replaying it. That recognition is important because it moves control away from what you cannot change and back toward what you can influence, which is your present response. As healing progresses, the emotional charge attached to memories begins to decrease. What once felt urgent or consuming starts to feel distant or less intense, not because it is forgotten, but because it is no longer continuously reinforced. This reduction in emotional reinforcement is what weakens the loop. The brain stops treating the experience as an active threat that requires ongoing analysis or resolution. Over time, this process creates space where your attention is no longer dominated by the past interaction. Instead, energy returns to your present life, your choices, and your sense of stability. The loop does not break through one single insight, but through repeated withdrawal of emotional investment until the experience no longer defines your internal state. Predictability is one of the core mechanisms that keeps manipulative or emotionally volatile dynamics functioning. Because when your reactions are predictable, your responses become easy to anticipate, trigger, and manage. Over time, patterns form where certain words, tones, silences, or behaviors reliably produce emotional output. This predictability is not accidental. It is what allows the cycle to continue without needing constant adjustment. When someone knows how you are likely to respond, they can unconsciously or deliberately structure interactions to activate those responses. When you begin to change your predictability, the entire dynamic starts to lose its efficiency. This does not require dramatic change in personality or emotional expression. Instead, it involves subtle shifts, such as delaying responses, not engaging with every provocation, or choosing neutrality, where reaction used to be automatic. These small changes disrupt the expected sequence of interaction. The other person no longer receives the same immediate emotional feedback, which makes their usual strategies less effective over time. As predictability weakens, confusion can initially increase in the dynamic because the established pattern is no longer reliable. Attempts that once worked may no longer produce the same reaction, and this mismatch forces a recalibration. However, the important shift is not in their adjustment, but in your reduced emotional participation. You are no longer reinforcing the cycle through consistent emotional output, which changes the structure of the interaction itself. Eventually, what emerges is a form of emotional neutrality, where your responses are no longer easily mapped or influenced. This does not mean absence of feeling, but rather a reduction in automatic emotional exposure. In that space, the old patterns lose their hold because they rely on repetition, and repetition depends on predictability that is no longer fully present. Your silence and stability become powerful, not because they are used as a tactic, but because they represent a fundamental shift in where your emotional energy is invested in these dynamics. Instability often creates openings for continued engagement because emotional fluctuation provides material for reaction, interpretation, and re-entry into the cycle. When your state becomes steadier, less reactive, and less influenced by external provocation, those openings gradually disappear. Silence in this context is not about punishment or sending a message. It is about removing unnecessary emotional participation from interactions that once consumed significant internal energy. When silence is combined with emotional stability, it signals that the previous points of access are no longer active. There is no longer a need to explain, defend, or emotionally process every attempt to provoke a response. This absence of reaction changes the dynamic more than any direct confrontation could because it removes the feedback loop entirely. Stability also means that your internal state is no longer easily disrupted by familiar triggers. What once created urgency or emotional escalation begins to feel less compelling, not because it is ignored through effort, but because it no longer holds the same psychological weight. This shift develops gradually through repeated experiences of choosing not to engage emotionally with patterns that once controlled your attention. Over time, this combination of silence and stability creates a form of psychological distance where the dynamic no longer has the same influence over your inner world. The change is not in what the other person does, but in what no longer affects you in the same way. In the end, the real transformation in these dynamics is not about defeating someone, exposing them, or making them feel what you felt. It is about stepping out of the emotional system that kept you tied to the cycle in the first place. These patterns survive on reaction, attention, predictability, and emotional investment. The moment those elements begin to fade, the structure that once felt so consuming starts to lose its grip naturally without force or confrontation. What replaces that cycle is not emptiness, but clarity. You begin to see that closure does not come from being understood by someone who was never fully engaging in understanding you. It comes from no longer needing that understanding to move forward. Your energy shifts away from trying to manage or decode another person's behavior and returns to your own emotional stability, boundaries, and internal peace. This process is not instant and it is not always linear. There are moments of doubt, reflection, and emotional pullback into old patterns. But with consistency, each moment of non-reaction, each boundary held, and each choice to disengage internally strengthens your sense of self. The dynamic loses relevance, not because the other person changes, but because you no longer participate in the emotional exchange that sustained it. Ultimately, the most powerful outcome is not their awareness of loss, but your experience of freedom. When your inner world is no longer shaped by their actions or reactions, the cycle ends in the only way that truly matters, through your return to yourself.